soon-to-be bodybuilding wellness competitor extraordinaire, which is my wife. How does it feel, baby? How does it feel
It feels
to be
good.
days out?
You know, I'm tired. I can't lie.
Rightfully so.
I'm very tired and I'm hungry all the time. But I feel good. Like my spirit is so high. Like my mindset is like crazy. I'm just excited to go on stage and just do my thing.
Let's talk about that. First off, let's point out the fact that you've been drastically working on yourself for the past 2 years, but really intentional about it at another level for like the past 6, 7, 8 months or so like that in preparation for this show. You didn't want to take the weight off of your responsibilities around the household. You maintained all of that. You grew your sisterhood community to a whole new level. You got women in your community right now making crazy transformations. You showing up for them every single day. You're inside of there, making an impact the best way that you can in a meaningful way. You still been posting, and collaborating and speaking life into the women that you want to reach. You've been present in the household. Man, you haven't missed a show since you started your whole prep journey. You've been making sure both of our meal preps have been on point, haven't missed or skipped a beat. You've been present with baby girl. You've been holding down the household and doing it all while in prep, 4-hour gym sessions. You have been a Wonder Woman this whole time, and you have drastically quantum leaped from who you were to who you are now. And I know that gotta feel some type of special. You have become, I think, the old version of you, her wildest dreams in a way that I don't even know if you could really process in words. Like, you have been doing the damn thing, baby.
Thank you.
And I see you. And I'm proud of you.
Thank
and
you.
You're not even done yet. Like, you just barely warming up.
Listen.
And now you're days away from all of that hard work and the consistency and walking into the pressure, right? You're days away from seeing the fruits of your labor. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, baby. That means a lot coming from you. Because you've seen me day in and day out throughout this whole journey. So like, the ups and downs of this, you know the stuff that I don't even talk about like on social media. So I appreciate you just showing up for me and seeing me during this process and always like checking in and saying, babe, is there something you need? How can I support you? Because the support has looked differently. Because I would say my bodybuilding journey was like a total of 16 months. So what I needed from you at the beginning looks way different than what I need from you right now.
Of course.
So I appreciate you being so willing to adjust for me to support me in the best way that you can, because it means a lot to me to have your support.
I've honestly been so glad to be here for you at the extent that I have been. And watching you has honestly been like the most inspiring thing ever, because knowing what your past looks like and knowing how you've struggled, in the past when it came to reaching your fitness goals. Now, when you be posting your transformation, pictures and things like that, I'd be looking at you and I'd be like, you're so far away from who you used to be. I can't even remember the old version of you. Like, and you've been this newer version of you for so long now. It's like, was that really even ever you? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
it be having me questioning our whole history. I'd be like, I feel like I don't even know that old version of you. You know what I'm saying?
But I love that though, because that's my goal. My goal is to get as far away from my old self as possible. I don't want to remember her. Like, I don't want, like, I want to be so in the present me and so hungry for the future me that the old me, that don't matter anymore. Like, I don't even remember her anymore,
Yeah.
Like, I have the lessons and that's great, but I want to be done with that. You know what I'm saying? So hearing you say that is really funny, because that's really my goal right now, just being as far away from the old version of me as possible.
And I feel that. And granted, to know that you've actually done that. And it's not even to say like forgetting who that person is for me, you know what I'm saying? But just knowing that you came from all of what you were before to this point, and being able to look up and be like, man, you actually did everything you said you were going to do and went above and beyond anything you probably even thought possible at one point in time.
Absolutely. And when I say forget the old version of me, I mean forgetting the things that no longer serve this version of me. Like, I don't mean forget who she was. Like, obviously I need to look back because there's lessons I've learned from that. And like, I appreciate who I was. I appreciate her and I love her for getting me to this point because she had to recognize in herself that she needed to change. And I'm grateful for that. But there are things that the old version of me I can no longer associate with in this present version. Absolutely. And I'm okay with disregarding her for this version of me now because this is my wildest dream. I am my wildest dream right now. And I'm only getting better and I only plan to get better. So I'm excited for who I am going to become. Like, it's just, again, I want to be closer to who I want to become than I am to the old version of me. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I do.
So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I wanted to fix that and make sure I didn't say nothing crazy. Because, you know, sometimes it comes off weird in the camera.
Nah, I get it though, because sometimes we can hold on to our past so tightly that we can't even allow ourselves to be in the moment and to really be able to take in all of what we've done. And sometimes when you hold on to it too tightly, it can cause you to kind of drift back because you're so familiar with what it used to be like. And now you can't even give yourself the credit of where you are now. So I get that. It's like, yeah, I remember you, but I got a loose grip on you. Matter of fact, you ain't even got a hold on me. Like I acknowledge that you were a part of my life that I'm no longer connected to and being okay with that distance. But like still knowing that, hey, that's a part of my story. But now it's a part of my story that I've grown through, or that you've grown through rather. And it's dope.
Yeah, and I think like even in that, that was my problem. My problem was I wasn't in the present moment with myself. I wasn't recognizing how far I had come. I was so closely related to the old version of me that I would feel what the old me felt, even though that wasn't me anymore. And that's why like it's important for me to be far away from her because I can't relate to her anymore, and I have to stop trying to make connections to her. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad to be on this side. I'm glad to have that disconnect now, honestly. Yeah.
So thinking about all of that, like how would you define yourself today? You know, like not even just as an athlete and stepping into, you know, this new space, but what do you think your transformation has been like as a wife, as a mom, and those other parts of you that have contributed to your transformation?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be like that sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just leaning in to the things that I desire. I'm leaning into being an athlete. I'm leaning into being an amazing wife, an amazing mom. I'm just leaning into everything that I want to lean into. Like I'm done counting myself out for things that I've done counting myself out for in the past. You know, we're going to create content. I'm done counting myself out for that. I'm done being quiet about my story, about, you know, my fitness journey and stuff like that. I'm just done with that. And I'm excited to be more vocal, and I'm excited for whoever I become on the other side, because at the end of the day, I don't know who I'm going to become. Like even the me that I dreamed of is not me, is not the me right now. Like I'm completely different than who I thought I would become. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm done. I'm actually way better than what I thought I was going to be. And I think I'm done putting certain limitations on myself and saying, oh, well, this is what I dream to be. And this is like, nah, because sometimes my dreams be boxed in by my limiting beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more so just leaning into my deepest desires.
It's like
I can't even, I really want to explain it, but it's hard.
I look at it as like you're letting the doing speak for itself.
Yes.
Rather than you having to quantify it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, when we'll try to define things so that way we can create the box.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm this and I'm that and I'm all of this different stuff or whatever. Creating this box that you want to then put yourself in, and we'll kind of glorify because that box is better than the one we were just in before, rather than just removing the thing completely and just letting your doing and your being speak for itself without creating the parameters. And maybe that's kind of like that free flow that you're in right now.
That's
you know what
really
I mean?
where I'm at. You described that perfectly. That is exactly where I'm at right now.
That's the visual that your words kind of created for me.
Yeah, I'm just being. Being who I believe I'm supposed to be, being who I believe God wants me to be. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever that looks like, that's what it is. Yeah.
I think what's so amazing in all of this is just seeing that how much effort you've put into being who you are right now. And then even seeing like how much of an impact it's made on our family, like as a household. Like I was saying before, man, you inspire me to a whole new level. Like I can genuinely say that I am so mind blown at the woman you've become up to this point. And I'm like, bro, my wife is no joke. Like she really ain't nothing to play with. And I'm just like I look at you and I'm just, man, when I be putting that freaking on all my posts, I'd be like, proud husband. I mean that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bro, my wife is amazing beyond just her body and what she looks like and all of that other stuff. But from the inside out, like she is freaking beast in the best way.
And you know, and to be able to sit here and receive that is so different. Like,
because even that was hard at one point.
Yeah, it's like, nah, like I'm not that awesome. Like, no, I am. Like, I've been doing this shit. I'm sorry. Like, I've been doing everything that I set my mind to. And I should be proud of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to even be at a point to where I can receive your positive affirmations and really believe it. You know, because it's one thing, oh, baby, I need you to tell me all these great things. But if I don't feel it about myself, then what's the point?
Yeah. It's like sometimes when people be expecting people on the outside to fill a void that they got on the inside.
Yes.
And it's like, it's so temporary and fleeting because how they say you're looking for other people to fill your cup because you haven't gotten to a space where you can fill your own. But now being in a space where you felt your own and then you're still able to receive when other people give it, give it to you. Like that's a completely different space. That's that overflow state. You know what I mean? And, again, that takes a lot of growth in and of itself. And I think what's also so, I don't know, I guess what's been so dope and challenging and all of those different things, at the same time is in all of that, it's like I've been having to also adjust to a new version of you, in the process. And that's what comes with it. You know what I mean? Because as you're growing, as you're developing and becoming your wildest dreams and still in that process, is learning how to be there for my wife in this version of herself, learning how to support this version of you, learning how to be able to communicate with this version of you, because who you need and what you need from me is different than what you needed and who you needed me to be years ago. And so now it's clear and it's obvious that we're stepping into yet another transformational stage in our marriage to where now we got to adjust to that new elevated version of ourselves, especially for you. And so I'm learning how to do that now. Like even yesterday when we were in the bathroom and we were just talking or whatever, and I was like, hey, like, what do you need from me right now? Like, how best can I support you and you going into peak week where your calories are low, you're so depleted, you're tired, you're all of this stuff. Like, I look at you sometimes and you look so drained and tired, maybe frustrated, and all of those things may be true. And I'm like, I'm not finna sit over here and prejudge because you're not loving on me as much as you used to or seeming as in it. Like something is happening right now. And I don't want to be so self-centered, thinking about myself and all of this other stuff because my wife isn't doing like this. She's not her usual high energy self. Just because you're handling this well doesn't mean that you're not having to go through a lot in order to do that, and being able to ask you, like, how can I best show up for you in this moment the way that you need it, so that way I can manage myself and then also help you manage yourself and what you're going through, and learning how to navigate that together. And, that comes with its own challenges and difficulty, but that's a part of the process.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we've been able to effectively do that like this whole time.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that. I've heard horror stories about prep, so I'm grateful that we already had the open communication about, okay, things are gonna start getting a little intense, and we've been planning for this for a minute anyway. But I'm definitely grateful for I'm grateful for our marriage. I can't even lie. It's a beautiful thing. And the challenges we go through, like, we say challenges, but it don't even be challenges. It's like growth moments. Like, how can we grow? Like, even in this prep, I feel like I've grown closer to you, even though, like, I'm like tired and all that. I'm like, dang, like, my husband really show up for me. Like, it gives me an even greater appreciation for you, because I'm like, this is really hard for me. Like, I make this shit look easy, but it is hard. It is very hard. It's hard for me to prep. It's hard for me to show up as a wife. It's hard for me to be a mom. It's hard right now, but this is the hard that I asked for. This is the hard that I'm willing to work towards. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you just showed up for me, and you always ask me, babe, you good? You good? It gives me a higher level of appreciation for you. I don't know. Like, it's just, I ain't gonna cry, but I can't even, like, it's wild.
I'm definitely glad that I've been able to do that.
And I hope that I show you that. Like, I hope that you feel like I appreciate you and I'm grateful, even when I'm tired, and even when, like, I might seem like I'm in my own head and stuff like that. I hope you see that, or I hope you feel that I do appreciate you in this time.
I do.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even overthink it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't spend time at all, honestly, processing or even trying to come to my own conclusions about it. You know what I mean? I just, like, I take it day by day. You know what I mean? And I just ask questions because I don't want to sit over here and come to my own conclusions without having talked to you. And even when it comes to, like, you doing your best to make sure that I feel like you're showing me that you're grateful for me trying to show up for you the best way possible. Like, I don't even give myself time to think about it, just because, like, I know your heart, you know what I mean? And I know that you do regardless.
Yeah. And
I'd never have to question that. So, because it's one thing to say, like, hey, I hope that you feel it and that you know all of this other stuff or whatever, but that takes me sitting over here having to tally up reasons to feel that way. And I haven't had to do that. Yeah. Like, I just know it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to sit over here and be like, well, she said it today, but if she didn't say it, 2-3 days ago, or, I did this for, and then she told me, so now I'm feeling, I ain't got to do all of that. Like, I don't need to keep some mental record of all of our interactions to get some feeling of appreciation from you.
Right.
So that haven't had to think about it. Like, I know what we got. Yeah. And I know that I do the best, to be there for you in the ways that I can. And I think it's so interesting because even in all of that, the days where I've tried to take certain things, like, off of your plate, and you be like, nah, babe, like, this is my thing. Like, I want this hard. I want this difficulty or whatever. I want all of this stuff because you don't want to fall off or be caught slipping, or you don't want things that are in your lane to come out of your lane, and you still wanted to embrace that. And I'm like, man, you ain't even got to do all of that. But the fact that you got that type of mentality and you've been able to maintain that for so long, like, that is crazy to me. I'm like, bro, Bro, this chick is different.
I take pride in being able to handle my shit. Like everything that I want to take care of, I take pride in that. And so since bodybuilding, I think I want to do this for the next few years. I don't want it to be to where I get in prep and then I'm like, the house just goes to crap because I can't do stuff. It's like, no, like, let me see how I can still take care of the household, still do my coaching, still do my own, training. How can I make everything work and flow? So I just have to be even more on top of things because I have to take into account how tired I'm going to be and all the workouts that I'm having to do. But I take pride in being able to handle my business.
Yeah, it's like not wanting one aspect of your life to take away from all the other aspects of your life that also matter.
Yes, because I love showing up for my husband. I love showing up for my baby girl. I enjoy making your lunch. Like I enjoy making y'all's dinner. I enjoy being able to have little conversations with baby. Like I enjoy all of this stuff. So for me to take that away just for bodybuilding, I'll quit bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. It's a no. Because this means more to me. Y'all mean more to me than this. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how can I mesh something that I love with something else that I love? You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Yeah.
I think what's so interesting in all of that is the fact that even in all of that, you've managed, and we've managed even as a family to keep each other included with you in your whole process. Mm-hmm. So that way we've really been able to go about this thing together. You know what I mean? And I think that that's been so amazing. So we've all been able to show up in these, I can't even call them like small ways or whatever the case. We've been able to show up and just be there for you in the ways that you need it just by being included in your process. Yeah. Because I think that that's where a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, maybe some couples go wrong sometimes is when they're going through these challenging moments or changes and things like that. It doesn't go beyond the fact that, hey, I'm just going through this thing or I'm doing this thing. But it's like, how can I include you in my process? Mm-hmm. How can I make sure that as I'm going through this transition, as I'm going through whatever this new thing is, I include you in the process and we're also proactive about the challenges and the difficulties and the unknowns and all of this different stuff. So that way, when stuff happens, we know how to adjust as a couple. We know how to adjust as parents, as a household, and still be able to show up so that way you don't fall short of your goal. And you also don't we don't collectively end up putting you in a position of where now you're having to do more or get emotionally unstable because of other things falling apart. Right. We're able to show up and carry that extra weight or pick up slack or whatever needs to happen just by being included. Mm-hmm. And that allows us to be able to, especially like me and baby, we can handle our emotions. Mm-hmm. We can handle our expectations. Like she just came to us the other night, last night, was like, hey, something's been bothering me. We haven't spent as much time as we normally do together. But she was like, I get it because you've been in prep, you've been working out so hard, you've been doing all these other things, and that's okay. I just want y'all to know that it's been on me, but we got to get through this thing right now. But I want y'all to be aware of it early so that way when it's over, we can get back to doing some of those other things as well because we haven't been able to spend as much time as usual. Right. And the fact that she's able to even process stuff and think like that because she's been a part of the process, like it's just dope. Yes. But that comes from being included. Right. So even she's been able to manage her emotions and how she deals with things and able to present them to us so that way we can adjust and still be a team as a family. Like, man, come on. Like that is,
I love it.
That is literally seeing the fruits of our labor as a collective unit. Wow. Mom is doing something crazy hard that quite literally shifts our whole household. Right. Like, man, shout out to us as a unit.
No, we've been killing it.
Yeah, as a unit.
For real.
So yeah, man,
I love us.
Proof is in the pudding, as they say.
My ass over here like, well, what flavor is the pudding?
Are you hungry? I get it.
Like pudding.
You ain't had nothing sweet in a while.
Right.
I get it. Don't even like pudding.
I don't like it.
But I'm proud of you, boo.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that we've had this experience together, even through all of its, challenges and the difficulties and the adjustments. Like, I think it's done so much more good for us than anything.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
What would you say to other ladies out here, your wives or whoever the case, who may have the desire to embrace hard things and do those things? What would you say to them?
I would say do it, but I would also say have your husband be involved in the process in your household. I think that's the major key from this episode in itself is like so you can have that support. Because me doing this is very, very hard, but my family can feel the weight of that too. So it's important for me to sit down with y'all and talk to y'all about how I'm feeling and tell y'all how to support me. And I think other wives should do that too. I think it'll be beneficial for the household as a collective. Because listen, when mama bear is down or when wife is down, everybody feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's so facts. It's important. It's important for the wife to speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna add to that just for the sake of the husbands and the guys out there, because sometimes our minds are a little bit slow. Look, mine included. I ain't separating nobody. It's honesty for me. But what I'm saying is that, like, even when you say like, "Hey, I need your support," in detail, what does that look like? You know what I mean? Because if we not clear on what do you need from me, and we don't know exactly what that looks like, and we don't get those details, then what we may end up doing, thinking that it's a version of support, might not be what you actually need. Yeah. So it's like, how can I show up for you? And what does that look like in execution? Yeah. So that way I can manage my mindset, my emotions. I can manage, my attitude towards certain things, whatever the case. So that way I don't have to put myself in a position where I can frustrate you, throw you off your goal, distract you, whatever the case may be. How can I effectively show up for you the way that you need it in this particular season? And then when you're out of that season and it transition into something else, have that same follow-up conversation, because like you said earlier, support changes at different phases and levels.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you can, before you go into that next transition, communicate that so that way we know how to show up for each other.
Yeah, and be okay with pivoting.
All the time.
Like, that's okay. Like, you can say, like, you can plan, like, oh, it's going to go this way and this is what I'm going to need. But sometimes the plan don't go as planned. And you got to shift.
Yeah, and so the support you think that you need end up being the exact opposite of what you need. Exactly. And now you got to adjust. But that's life. Yeah. And that's the importance of keeping each other included.
Yep.
I think that's it, Boo.
I think so, too.
Hey, I hope y'all really got some game and some value out of that. First off, thank y'all so much for checking out this episode, for listening, and for just being a part of this journey with us up to this point, and for everything that's on the way. And again, we hope that you guys got as much value out of this as possible, that you learned something, about our dynamic and how we support one another and all of that good stuff. But until next time, family, my name is John Trone. This is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
We are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.